Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I am just going to share my screen. Thank you for joining. George, I'm going to pass it to you. Hold on one second.
Alrighty.
Let's start from the beginning. Here we go.
Well,
All right. Go ahead.
all right. Welcome, everybody. We're going to be presenting a webinar on the VetLink system, which you may or may not be familiar with. It is currently 4 after, so I think we can probably go ahead and get started. I like to do these webinars or demos, have it be interactive. So if you do have questions, please just let us know and we'll be happy to answer any questions as we go along. And of course, at the end, we'll have questions and answers session later. So I'm not sure if folks are familiar with the VetLink system, but it's been around for 15 years. And my name's George Phillips. I've been working on the system for the entire time, along with Dory and Will for that entire 15 years. So it's been a lot of fun working with the VA and the veterans and the team members. So we're all going to provide some insight into the VetLink system. If you're not familiar with VetLink, VetLink is a secure kiosk and application that veterans can use to perform actions at the VA. They can check in, they can submit their Benny travel, they can update their insurance, and the staff can monitor their progress through the check-in workflows, Benny travel workflows, and they can also interact with them using intelligent queuing displays in the waiting rooms. Go ahead, next slide. Again, we've been working with the VA for about 15 years, actually more than 15 years, but this current implementation started in 2011, which is when I started with the company. We collaborated with the VA to integrate with Vista so that we could provide a seamless check-in process for veterans and a way for staff to monitor those interactions. And then along the way, we've customized the system for the VA. We've added a BTSSS feature, which integrates directly with the BTSSS platform. And we have integrated with the Cerner pilot sites out in the northwest of the United States once that implementation started around 2020. Go ahead for the next slide. Today, we're going to review several topics. We're going to talk about the check-in feature, which is probably the primary feature that folks think of when they think about VetLink. Queuing is another big feature that we have. That's popular in labs, pharmacies, urgent cares, patient services, locations where veterans might not have appointments, but we can allow them to check in for unscheduled visits. We have, like I said before, the BTSSS integration, and currently that is one of the most popular features of VetLink. We've done almost 2 million claims through the BTSSS system since we implemented this feature. We can capture insurance cards, which is great so that the facilities can do some cost recovery for through the insurance companies. We also implemented a award-winning text-based check-in feature, which we deployed, I believe, prior to the PCI tool in an effort to work with the facilities during the COVID pandemic. So we got some emergency funds and we provided a secure text-based check-in feature for the Charleston facility. And then last but not least, will be talking about our wayfinding integration. Next slide. Yeah. In addition to all those features, we also have VetLink 2.0, which is coming out in 2027. It's a platform that is already built, but we're currently going through the FedRAMP process. And once that is completed, it'll be available to everybody. And I think it will make implementation and acquisition of VetLink much simpler for you folks. But it'll provide all of the old features along with some new enhanced features as well. It'll be cloud-based, easy to access from anywhere from the VA network. It'll include enhanced security, things like biometric login will also be available. So there's going to be some new features that are really going to be useful to you folks in VetLink 2.0 coming next year. And again, it's cloud-based. There are no servers. We'll support more devices with this platform. We're going to have kiosks because that seems to be the platform that veterans like and they're used to, but we'll also be able to provide tablets and mobile devices. And we also have telepresence robots that could be used with the VetLink 2.0 application. We're also adding some new features. Like I said, there'll be some biometric authentication options, SSO for staff members to log into the application, and PIV access. Next slide. The first topic that I want to talk about is scheduled appointment check-in. And this was implemented with the VA. This was one of the first integrations that we did, basically to provide a seamless integration with Vista to allow the veterans to take control of their check-in process, their demographic updates, insurance updates, all that information can be updated during the check-in process. And then once the veteran checks in, the staff can track those veterans real time using the VetLink admin tool, the intelligent queuing displays, if they would like. Those intelligent queuing displays can be hung up in the waiting rooms to call veterans using numbers rather than their names, to become more HIPAA compliant. And we can put some queuing displays in secure areas so that providers and staff members can track the actual location of the veterans during their visit to the VA. Next slide. And this slide demonstrates the VetLink admin tool. This is a way in which your staff members can monitor the progress of the veterans and actually interact with the veterans by calling them to locations using those queuing displays. They can make notes on the visit. They can also review some of the notifications that are generated during the check-in process, whether it's a behavioral patient where you need to read the notes or a veteran's clinical reminders that need to be reviewed during their visit. Next slide. We also offer walk-in queuing. This is helpful for locations where there are unscheduled visits. So you can think about a lab or diagnostic area. Urgent care is another popular location where we install this. Patient services, eligibility and enrollment, VIC cards, anywhere where a veteran doesn't have a scheduled appointment, that is a good place to put a walk-in queuing kiosk and monitor so that you can interact with those veterans. You can track the veterans in a secure area using the IQDs. and allow them to check in and be seen in an orderly manner using the VetLink tool. This is the feature that everybody gets excited about. This is the BTSSS reimbursement feature. So far, we've submitted over 1.9 million claims using the BTSSS system. Previously, some of you may be aware of the paper claim process, which we were also involved in. We nationally, over the 10 years that the paper claim process was implemented, we processed about 20 million claims, but under this new integration with the BTSSS system, we've processed 1.9 million, and that's over about a 2-year period. We have done a study with Charleston, and it's been estimated that we're saving about 8 minutes per claim compared to a paper form that a staff member has to fill out and manually submit. So that adds up to a lot of hours. So it's really a great feature. It saves your staff and a lot of time, and it saves a lot of frustration for the veterans because the check-in process, the BTSSS process, takes about 2 minutes as opposed to logging into the web portal and going through the process in that method. Go ahead. We're going to show a quick BTSSS video, and as I go through this, I'll remind Kelly that I would like to stop this video after the kiosk check-in process is completed, just to ask if there are any questions. And I'd also like to point out that the video is a good representation of what the veterans would experience during any one of our workflows. So the veterans will sign in and they will go through these workflows, and it's pretty seamless and intuitive for the veterans. Go ahead and hit play. I think we need to, yeah, there you go. So as with any process, the veteran can sign in with their social security number or their VIC card. They're going to answer a couple of basic questions that are required by the BeneTravel team. If a veteran has multiple appointments, they'll have to select one. It doesn't matter which one. They'll sign the screen with their finger, and they hit continue, and the process is complete. That is the check-in process, and you can pause the video for the BTSSS workflow. And I'm sure you can agree that that's probably much faster than using the web portal. Does anybody, before we move on, I just wanted to give folks an opportunity to ask questions about the BTSSS process, the kiosk end of the process. Yes, Mr. Weisberger, Garber.
I think we have to unmute him. Hold on.
Yep.
I can't unmute him.
Oh, okay.
Hold on one second.
Oh,
Let
wait,
me see.
I think I might be able to. All right. Are you able to speak now, Mr.?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, thanks. It seems like we've had this VetLink before, then it went away. Is this something new that's coming back now?
Yes. So this is the same VetLink that you had previously. There's a bit of history there. So we had a national program that was kicked off in 2011. And in 2023, that national program has ended. However, many facilities decided to stay with us. So we're currently live in 38 facilities around the country. And they chose not to remove the kiosks from their system. So yes, this is the same application as before with several major enhancements. This BTSSS system configuration is one of the major enhancements that we've activated. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that looked familiar, and I'm like, maybe I'm getting weirded out here or something like that, but
Yeah,
that doesn't look familiar.
So the good thing is, many of your staff members and the veterans are going to be familiar with the kiosks.
Yes.
What we found is it's been pretty seamless for facilities that have decided to continue with us or re-implement the application. They know how to go through and submit their Benny Travel. They already know how to check in
Yes.
for their appointments. So this is an opportunity for you folks to reactivate the application at a facility level or a VISN level. In addition to that, we are ramping up for VetLink 2.0, which will be available to everybody in 2027. So again, the program didn't go away. It's just the national funding ran out, and some facilities decided to continue with us. Some facilities decided to add our application on after the fact, after the national contract ended. And we have quite a bit of interest because of the BTSSS system and the reduction in staffing at the moment. There's been quite a bit of interest in automating a lot of this stuff. So,
And you could be able
any
to
other questions about
you could be able to
this?
incorporate like a mobile, so they can use mobile devices real easy on it too.
Yes, that's coming in VetLink 2.0.
Okay.
And we will talk about briefly the text message check-in feature, which is very similar to the PCI tool that we actually implemented prior to them in Charleston. So we'll talk about that here towards the end of the presentation.
Okay. Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions about the BTSSS kiosk, though?
No, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Okay, great.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. And Kelly, go ahead and continue. So as with
the video, or do you want to go back
with
to
the video,
slide?
please? Yes.
Okay.
As with all of our workflows, there is an admin portion of the BTSSS process. So we capture the submissions and we document the claims in the admin tool. And any claim that does not successfully get captured, we have created a new admin tool that will help your BTSSS or your Benny Travel staff process those for the veteran on behalf of the veteran. We still capture the digital form. We no longer print the form because this is now paperless, but we do capture a digital form to help them complete the BTSSS submission for the veteran. So just to give you an example of how this is implemented in probably one of our most successful facilities, Charleston, they capture about 600 claims a day via the kiosk. And each one of those claims goes directly into the BTSSS system. And not all of them are auto-adjudicated, but I think the majority of them are. And then the remainder that are not accepted by the BTSSS system get kicked into the BTSSS claims queue, as we call it. And those are the ones that have to be manually updated in the BTSSS system. It's roughly it's just under 1%. So if they're doing 600 claims a day, your staff really only need to look at about 6 claims a day and manually update them. So when you multiply that by 8 minutes saved per claim, it really adds up. And they've done a great job, and they're super happy with this implementation. Do you have any questions about the BTSSS process? Okay. We'll move on. And again, we'll have questions and answers after. So if you think of something, please feel free to make note of it. Insurance card capture. This is a feature that's always been available on VetLink, at least since about 2014. It was little known. It wasn't widely implemented, but we find facilities are increasingly adding this workflow of the 38 facilities that we're currently live in. Basically, it's a camera on the kiosk where the veterans can scan their cards front and back, and the staff are able to monitor the patient queue as always, and they take those captured cards and they are able to input the data that's captured from the kiosk into the ICB. So it just allows an additional layer of insurance capture for facilities. So I guess, Kelly, we can go ahead and review the video again.
Oh, sure.
And this is going to show, while she's getting this queued up, this is going to show a similar process, but it's going to show the insurance capture. So the veterans, again, will sign in on the kiosk. And typically they...
Oh, George, you muted yourself somehow.
Yep, sorry. The veterans will typically use their VIC card to authenticate, and they'll confirm their date of birth. You can go ahead and continue.
Oh, sorry, it paused it.
Yeah. And if they're updating their insurance, this is actually the ROI video. So this is another feature. This is the release of information workflow. We again, this has been very helpful for staff where there's not enough people to staff the ROI desk. We can complete the release of information requests via the kiosk and print those out behind the desk for the veteran and deliver them via CD or paper. So again, Kelly, this is the ROI.
Oh, let me see if I have the other one.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay.
But that is also a popular feature due to the fact that, you know, staff reductions. There aren't enough staff to cover ROI.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, particularly, you know, you think of ROA form getting from the CBOC back to the ROI processor without interruption, it makes a huge difference.
Yes. I could pull it up, Kelly, if
you want to pull it
Okay.
up, that'd be great. I think I'm working off a different slide, so
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Bear with me, folks. Insurance capture. Okay, so I'm assuming you folks can see my screen. Again, we can add this insurance capture option on the kiosk. The veterans will authenticate, again, typically scanning their VIC card. And they'll confirm it's them by entering their date of birth. And then the kiosk will prompt them if they have insurance updates to take their card and scan the front. Scan the back. Provide the relationship. And that's it. So the veteran has scanned their card on the kiosk. Any questions about that before I go to the admin tool? Okay. And then looking at the admin tool, we can see that the insurance has been captured and there's a notification in the queue. And the staff members can then view those scans. And I realize this is a VIC card, not an insurance card, but the staff members can then transcribe this information into the ICB. And we recommend adding a memo so that the other staff members are aware that the insurance has been updated. So again, we're able to capture the image from the kiosk. The staff members can then review it in the VetLink admin tool and transcribe that into the ICB tool. Are there any questions about the insurance capture workflow? Okay, Kelly, I'm going to hand it back to you.
Okay. Let's go to the next screen.
Okay, and as I mentioned before, we implemented in a very short period of time when COVID struck, a text-based check-in feature for the Charleston facility. It actually won some national awards from the VA. So basically the veterans can text the VetLink system or scan a QR code to be able to check into their appointment, or if they don't have an appointment, they are put in the queue to be responded to later. And the staff members have access to a pre-configured texting tool so that they can text veterans when it's time to enter the clinic. This feature, a good example of how this feature was useful during COVID in Charleston. The veterans were queuing up for lab visits, and the staff members were able to, the lab system went down and they got backed up by several hours, and the lab staff were actually able to text all the veterans and tell them to wait in their car or come back at a predetermined time. And that prevented the veterans from unnecessarily waiting in the waiting room or in the parking lot while the lab system issue was being resolved. So again, we do offer text-based check-in and queuing for the current VetLink application, and in VetLink 2.0, it'll be texting on steroids. You'll have more texting features in the future when we get to VetLink 2.0. Next slide. And I'm going to hand it over to Will, who's going to talk about integrated wayfinding.
Great, thanks, George. So dovetailing with everything that George has been talking about, I think the next question as a veteran is preparing for their appointment or arriving at a medical center. Probably the first time a new or a veteran who doesn't go to the VA frequently asks is, where do I go and how do I get there? So that at a large VA medical center, that physical maneuvering part of the veteran journey is really not a trivial issue. And I'm sure VA staff who walk the halls and help lost and confused veterans are intimately familiar with the look of that veteran who's not quite sure where to go, doesn't know who to ask, is looking at a sign, but isn't really clear where they need to be. What we've done is integrated wayfinding both with the kiosk and with other tools, so the veteran can have a seamless handoff from home to clinic to VA resources. And they can do this using the tool of their desire. So let's meet the veteran where they are technically and provide them the information about what they need to do and where they need to go and how to do that. So the digitized maps that we have created of many medical centers and the wayfinding experience that flows from these digitized maps and digitized content are available both on the VetLink kiosks optional large format kiosks and lobbies that you'll see across Business 7 and a lot of other medical centers. Even on the veteran's smartphone through a mobile app, which is either a downloadable or progressive web app, or can even be on va.gov. So that site's va.gov webpage. So the idea is a veteran, if they're comfortable with a MapQuest experience, they like to go on, really see where they are going to be and print it out from home, great, they can do it. But if they're savvy and they're used to a Google Map experience and they get to the VA Medical Center and they no longer have that, well, now they have the ability to do that. We even empower redcoats with the same source of truth of information so that redcoats are armed with the correct information. So the idea is that there's one source of data, multiple form factors that consume that data so that wherever a veteran is going for information, so navigation, routing, et cetera, they're going to get correct information and not end up lost, and it'll be consistent experience. On the mobile experience, as I mentioned, it's a blue dot turn by turn experience. So that's really powerful as you think about, boy, this is exactly the route I want to do based on my desire, either handicapped accessible or not, and also to give alerts to veterans when they arrive at that destination. So for example, they arrive in the primary care and they're prompted to check in using VetLink. Why that matters, navigation is consistently a top pain point at VA facilities. There are multiple buildings, there are lots of floors, there's lots of construction, there's lots of clinic moves. And that really can result in veterans being dissatisfied, arriving late, arriving at the wrong place, or just adding stress to a clinical experience that isn't necessarily needed. This can drive no-shows, front desk interruptions. I'm sure VA staff that are assisting lost veterans are familiar with the time it can take to really lead a veteran where they need to get. So a couple things to highlight with the VetLink integration. The beauty of this is because of the VetLink ties into Vista, we're able to also preload clinics into the mapping application. So what a veteran's looking for, a veteran will find. What's great is that this works well for a first-time veteran or somebody who's been coming for years, because the content of how to update can be managed, of course, by everybody on this call, but also by the sites themselves. So if something doesn't get out of date, you have an interface where you can easily update. I've just been told the elevator is out. I'm going to close that down so veterans will be routed the proper way. And it's integrated into the patient flow. So because if a veteran is using a mobile experience, because we are aware of where that veteran is through location-aware Wi-Fi that's at many VA medical centers or really small hockey puck beacons, we can tell a veteran what they need to do when they need to get there. So a veteran can save their parking spot, navigate to their clinic, and be prompted what to do. And as they exit the medical center, they can be prompted to say, hey, how was your visit today? Hope we did a great job. Thanks for trusting us with your healthcare. If something didn't satisfy you, please come back in. We'll take care of it. So any ways that we integrate journey and location into what we want to communicate to that veteran. And it's working. We are at sites from Orlando in Florida to West LA, and many sites in between, including most of Business 7. So your neighbors, if NOLA refers to New Orleans, I just noticed, your neighbors to the right are using this across their health system. By the way, one site that loves having visitors check it out is Southern Nevada. They won the VHA Customer Innovation Award for the integration of the check-in experience with navigation. So they're delighted to welcome their VA peers to learn more about what they're doing with mapping, wayfinding, and connectedness with VA workflows. Okay, back over to you guys.
Thanks. And Dory, I think you are up next. And you're on.
Sure. So, yep. I figured it out. So the business case for VetLink, I think, there are a lot of pain points that people go through at the front desk. If you look at the blue box on the right of the slide, 8 minutes times 32K daily staff interactions, that's about 4,266 hours a day. You've got the backlog that requires hiring other people to come in and go through the papers. Manual insurance capture leads to billing gaps. Walk-ins cause front desk congestion and delays. So since the people that implement VetLink have so much ROI just in staff, with the staff, it helps them. It helps them not necessarily do you eliminate all of your staff, something like that, but you're going to enhance. And also with the BTSSS, the veterans, they get reimbursed so much quicker, and it just works out so much easier for them as well. And next slide. So if you're wondering how to get started, I know you said that you recall VetLink before. It pretty much is the same way as previously. We do have the GSA contract vehicle, which now it's actually called Mass Award Schedule, but it's basically the same thing. We have the pricing on there. You can also get an IDIQ task order, which means it kind of shortens the contract process. So Vision 22 actually has an IDIQ. And if you're curious about that, you could reach out to Lysandra Harvey, because she is the one that I worked with to get their IDIQ. Vision level procurement, you just work directly with your Vision contracting officer. And I do realize that the Visions are changing up. There's like some sort of a shuffle going on right now. So some of this might change, but I also think it may make things smoother. I'm not sure. But your next steps with respect to us, it would be just schedule an assessment. Talk to George or Bill Page, our other guy on the phone. We'll do a pilot deployment. We're doing deployments all summer. And the big thing that I wanted to bring up, the quicker the better. If you can lock in with us by July, come in, let us know what your needs are. We can get a quote out. We are going to do some pretty deep discounts if you can do it by then, because of inventory. That helps us out a lot to plan. And then by September 30th, we'll have another tranche of discounts, but the quicker the better, and it's first come, first serve. And we really have had a big uptick in purchases lately. So I highly recommend, if you guys are interested in reducing your staff burden and helping these veterans out, make things quick and efficient, reach out to us. Next slide. Don't take our word for it. We got all these veterans that were so happy to get this BTSSS process. So that's all I got to say.
Yeah, I think this is really the wrap up. So if anyone has any questions or comments, we'd love to hear your feedback. George, if you have anything else to add, please, chime in.
Yeah, no, I think any questions? Now's the time.
And I think, Kelly, do we have a one pager or something that we're going to be sending out?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So after this, we will share the slides, a quick one-page quick reference card, as well as the recording, so you can share with your team if you'd like. And as George and Dory had stated, if you need us, just reach out. We're here to help you guys. So thank you for joining. And thank you to our speakers. Thank you, Will, from MTS as well, for joining and giving us the insight into wayfinding. Very, very interesting for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Definitely. It's a great partnership. We collaborate with that, and it works out so well.
Yeah.
Agree. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone. We'll
Thank
follow
you.
up
Thank you.
with
Have a great day.
materials.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.